Hello everyone, this is Abdurrahman Gilal. In today's short presentation, I'll be explaining you about inheritance, which is a very important concept of object-oriented programming. Without learning inheritance, we will not be able to learn about polymorphism. I have already discussed a little about polymorphism and other important concepts of object-oriented programming language. So I will be trying my best to give you a first theoretical understanding about this topic, and then I'll go further and give you a hands-on example explanation of the basic of this topic. So the word in itself is actually, depicting that inheritance, which means that we are passing through some properties. So, well, such as like I'm inheriting certain properties from my father. So, as I told you in my previous presentations, that I may have my blood group from my father, from my mother. So, my father and my mother are my parents. So, I'm actually bringing down certain properties. I'm bringing down my last name from my parents, and I'm also bringing down my certain wealth from our parents. So it is like that we have to set what are the properties and methods that we actually wanted to share to the child class by using the same access modifiers such as private, public, or protected, or package protected, or sorry, package private. So let me quickly explain you that whenever we say in Java programming language, so we will always be having a parent here. Sorry about parent here, and the child will be actually taking the properties from the parent. So some people call this as a superclass. So superclass, and this is called drive class. So it's the same thing. You call superclass or drive class. You got parent class or child class. You call base class. This is drive class. So anything that people say or the students say, I agree with all of them because it's just a different explanation with anything that way you can easily understand. So only a thing that we have to make sure that when I say this is my base class, which means then I will be actually passing the values or passing the properties to my child class. So it is not the other way around that the child will be passing the values to the base class. So let's say if I am son to my father, so my father is my parent and I am child. So, and my father has a last name. So this is my last name now because I am basically accessing the base class. So how do we do that? We use a word called extend. So child actually always extend the properties of the parent class. So child extends the properties of the parent class. So certain places, this type of relationship is called is a relationship. So I will not be explaining too much about other types of relationship because there is another type of relationship called has a relationship. I'll try to prepare another presentation for that. But what I mean from is a relationship, it means that child is relevant to the parent. So let's say Abdul is a son to I can put my father's name. So this is how it will be depicted that when you are inheriting certain values, is a relationship happens there. So there are certain other relationship, as I mentioned to you, has a relationship. So this is a bit about more composition. So what I mean from the composition is that you are required to have certain properties within the child class, and that makes it a little bit, you know, tightly bound with the or tightly coupled with the class. So I'm not gonna go into the detail of it because that's not the topic of today. When we extend this topic, maybe I'll explain you. So let me quickly go and tell you how does Walter Savage explain this topic. So yeah, let's run and see that Walter Savage says that inheritance is one of the main techniques of object-oriented programming. Yes, it is. And, it has to have, inherit in the method and the instances, variables of the general class. So it means that if you have a parent class, so he calls it a general class, it's all fine. So it's the same thing. And then the new class is called drive class. So what it means the same, like a child class is called the drive class, the same thing. And the original class is called the base class. So for instance, I'm going to give you an example that we may have a situation when we are working on how to say uh, a class called vehicle, and then vehicle may, all the vehicle has wheels. With how many wheels we are not talking here, and all the vehicle has engine, and all the vehicle has got let's say their color or something. So all the engine moves, so all the vehicle moves, so move can be the method as we have already discussed. So let's say this will be now base class for us because vehicle. So when I say vehicle, so what do I mean exactly from vehicle? So it could be a car vehicle, it could be the truck as well. So some people can say it's a bike. So now even the bike has a small engine there, definitely. So the car can extend or can actually take properties from here. So the car is a child class, so this is called drive class. So this is the same thing. So car is a drive class, bike is a drive class, truck is a drive class, and this is the base class. That's what we already discussed. So the vehicle is the base class. So this is how it looks like. And how do we do that? I already explained you. Car extends anything that is there in the vehicle class, or let's say any properties there. So we have to define vehicle first and then we can extend. This is how Walter wanted to say and explain us. So yep. And then when we go further, we're going to say that there is often natural hierarchy. So basically from there, if you're using some access modifiers, you're making something private in the private class or in the parent class, they will not be passed through the child class. And there are certain properties that you make it public, so those things can be transferred to the child class. So it's the same thing that let's say, for example, that we are working on employee. So there are situations when, give me a second, yeah. So employee can be a salaried employee or can be the hourly employee. So what I mean from hourly employed is that he is paid either full-time or part-time. So that's how like it goes up to here. So the properties here, like employee number or employee ID or employee, name. So all the things will be part of the employee class. And then hourly will extend this employee, and the full-time will extend hourly. So when full-time is extending hourly and hourly is extends, and then hourly is extending the employee. So basically the hourly is having employee properties plus the hourly properties both. So anything that is there in the hourly employee or in the employee will be part of the full-time, but things that are there in the part-time will not be part of the how to say this full-time hourly employee. And the things or properties which are there in the technical stuff will not be. So this is how it looks like. So it's like a kind of a relationship that I say is a part of hourly and is a part of employee, but it's not part of this order. So if you wanted to make it, then you have to learn about extension. So without extension, it's not possible that we can share the properties. So it gives us a kind of a, way by which we can either do polymorphism or we can do also encapsulation, which means we can hide the information that is here and there. And, like what is the part-time rate for the, employee will never be shared with the full-time hourly employee. So because that's a different type of packages. So this is how we make it private and all those things. So let me quickly see like if there is some theoretical information that I can pass through. Yeah, we already learned about the extension that we extend the base class, and we also how to say drive the employee class and all of this example. So let me quickly go and tell you that how can we implement this type of concept in Java programming language. But once again, must remember there will be two things that are coming when you are learning about sorry, not overly, parent and child. That will be overloading and overriding concept. So far, as per my understanding, we have discussed about overloading. But this overloading is that when you have one class, and when you have a method which is of same name but different definition, such as different arguments. What I'm saying is that, so if you remember that we have also created, let's say, class main. So this is my class. So I created the constructor of the main. So I expect that the main will be having main with no argument. So this is one of the constructor, and this is possible that maybe main has some arguments such as a string like name or some other things. So let's say I have created here private string name. So now this is possible that the caller is calling this constructor, or it's also possible the caller is calling this constructor. So now here, this is when we have a different, how to say, definition, which means no argument and there's argument. So it's possible that we have more than one argument, or we have more than one parameters being received by the main. So this type of thing are called overloading. So why? Because we have same name, but we got different definitions. So overriding is going to be the part of inheritance here. That's overriding says we have the same name with the same number of same type of definition. So let's say if you have a class called main, and you had a method called void, let's say print, for instance, I'm saying print, and that's it. And now you are extending main. Let's say class main is being extended. Let's say class sub main by extends this main. So here, when it is extending this main, so by default print is there. But when I say void print, same thing. So now this will actually override. So this is called override. So that means override. That means this has having same number of parameters, such as 0 parameters, same definition, exactly the same definition. So when we have got the same definition and we've got different classes, or it's also possible that you have different arguments or different parameters. So different definition will be called overloading, but here it's called overriding. So don't be confused. The definition has been discussed in this course very clearly. In case you have any misunderstanding or you wanted to discuss with me, so we can discuss. Do not confuse once again. When a method is overridden, and the new method definition given in the derived class has the exact same number and types of parameter as the base class. So base class, as I told you, main, and the subclass is called submain. Exactly the same. So it's called overriding. And overloading is when we have different signature. So different signature is called overloading. I hope it makes some sense. So let me open up the compiler and I get back to you. Give me a second. So guys, here I have quickly texted typed the code for you to save some time. So I wanted to just simply tell you that I created the vehicle class as I just discussed with you, and I kept two properties into it. So let me draw it for you so that you understand better. So the parent class here is the vehicle class. So let's say this vehicle class is having like make as well as model. So every vehicle will be having some make and model. So I also have created its constructor. So for the time being, just forget about the constructor. It's just because I wanted to make sure that the values are, given on time, and every vehicle has to have some method called sorry, give me a second. Yeah. This one, they start. So I just like to show you that vehicle started. So this is a class called vehicle class, and vehicle class will have two properties such as make and model, and one method, and that method that is the uh, user-defined method, which I'm saying it's called the start method. So all the vehicle has to get started. So there is a constructor which is called vehicle constructor. So we all know that the constructor actually helps us to, initialize some values to the class. So if there are some properties and if those are private, so you can make them private, you can make them public. It's up to you. If you make them private, the other class won't be able to use them. So in order to make them assigned, you can use the structure, or you can use some getter and setter methods. We have already discussed about them. So let me explain you the other part of the code. So once again, I start from the beginning. So you have a vehicle class. There are two properties, and then we got this is the constructor, and then we got this start method just to show like vehicle has been started or something. And I am making another class here that's called car class, as we discussed. And then that car class will be extending the vehicle class. So as we discuss, anything that are there in the parent class will be part of this class. So now if the car is actually being part of it, and we could see that there are properties which are not private or protected, so it means I can use these two things, as well as I can use this constructor as well as this method. So everything that is there will be part of this car class now. But this is extending. This is the keyword that you have to use if you are trying to work on inheritance. Not only inheritance, because polymorphism, similar concept that we will learn in the in another presentation. So extension will give you basically an idea that you are extending the properties of the parent class. So this is inheritance. And then you got this constructor. So now this constructor says that you have a string make and a string model, same thing. You don't have any, how to say, make in model here defined. So everything make in model you have already defined here. So your declaration is here. So if somebody wants to use vehicle class, they also can use. And if the car is using vehicle class, this also can use. So this keyword called super, basically this is kind of how to say predefined method that initializes the parent constructor. So superclass constructor, that's why we call this super method. So when I say super and the keyword super is giving, so it's going to call this one. So it is exactly this one will be called. So now you can see you don't have to write vehicle because that is the super for, I mean, super for car is vehicle class. So this super is once again is calling the constructor. So now you can pass any value. So make and model. So whatever car has received as a parameter will be passed to make and model. So what I mean from there, once again I draw for us to understand better. Okay, so okay. So let's say this is my vehicle class. This is a very small vehicle class. Clear all the drawing. Yeah. So let's say this is my vehicle class. And I had make and model, and then I have a method called stops, right? Sorry about this. Yeah, start. And now there is another class which is actually extending or getting properties from here. Is called car. So car extends. So this is extending. Now car will by default have these all things. So all the things that are here will be part of the car. So definitely if this is the car class, so car class may have its own constructor. But when you call the own constructor, there can be certain properties here. For instance, here you say the color. So string color, let's say you have this for this. So now super will actually only assign values to these two, because that is just super is the same method. It's like it's a constructor for vehicle. So vehicle constructor, super is vehicle constructor. Now what is left? Left is the string color. So you can assign this dot color or just color. Color is equals to whatever if you have received from here, the color. So you can pass it to here. So now this constructor will be assigning or initializing other values that are there in the car class. But if there are certain values or there are certain fields that are coming from the vehicle class, so you can better call the super keyword or super method to call the constructor of vehicle class. So this is just a vehicle of, or this is just a constructor of superclass. So it's a constructor. You can say it's a constructor of superclass. I hope it makes some sense. If you got any confusion, please do not hesitate to leave me the how to say comments. Okay, so there you go. So now we know that we can override. This is what's very important. We discuss the how to say the behavior of the parent class. So now you're gonna say this is overriding and the same method called start, and here is also a start. So by default, this IntelliJ gives the comments. You're gonna see that this is overridden. I have not written as a usage one time and it's one time override. So this is from here. So this gives you an indication that it's actually overridden. So here is written car is started. Maybe you can put anything else, and this is called vehicle is started. So that's all two different classes all set. It's not necessary that you keep these both in both classes in one file. You can keep in different files, but I just wanted to make sure that the code is a little bit how to say organized well to explain. So this is why I kept in one file. So the parent class is vehicle, the child class is car. Now let's call them. So I call the main class, and then I have created the main method so that we can make the how to say make the compiler call. So now car is the how to say is the car class, which is a child class, and then my car is my object, new car, same. And now this new car will actually car, it will call this the constructor of car class. So I pass Toyota and Camry. So Toyota and Camry will be passed here in the Mac and model. And then this constructor will call super, which means it will call backward to this vehicle constructor, and then this vehicle constructor will receive those values from the car class or car constructor and will assign them. So now these two values, which are basically a part of the vehicle class, will be assigned through the car class. So then you can actually call this my car.start. The output will be you're gonna see here the car is started, and make is Toyota, and model is sorry, yeah, Camry. So this is how it looks like. How about if I create quickly for you to better understand now, before I go further, just to uh, create a vehicle class. So let me see, this is my vehicle class, and this is my vehicle. So this just to give you an idea that what is going to happen if I do the same thing here. I should better pass not the data because I'm saying simple vehicles. I'm saying my vehicle, and this is my model. Just to make a difference that if I call the parent class, then what will be the outcome? So this is the parent class, which is the vehicle class. So now I have the instance of parent class. So it's directly, it is not any, it is not basically overridden yet because this is going to override. But this is not going to override. So let me print it out. So let's say if I wanted to print out here, my method like my vehicle dot start. So what should be the outcome? And before car is started, it should be vehicle is started. Let's run it and see that because we believe that it has not overridden yet. So we run it and we're gonna see like how it works. Yeah, vehicle is started because I believe that this part we have just created for the vehicle class, which has not assigned any value yet, or we have not overridden it. So we have simply passed my vehicle. So if I wanted to print, let's say, same thing. If I wanted to print the same code here, so let's say I just copy from here and I print here instead of make, I would say instead of my car, I say my vehicle make, and instead of my car, I would say my vehicle model. So let's run it. and this is called parent, and this is called child. So you see here, vehicle started, my vehicle is my make, and my model is my make. So this time we are not calling any super until here, because super is called the super constructor from superclass. And this is actually getting instance of, it's making instance of child class, but because child class has access or can extend the parent class, that's why it looks like this. So I hope it makes some sense. If you got any question, please do not hesitate to ask me. Thank you.